Yo, that shit was dope. Like, can you imagine?
I can't. I really can't. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Backbone Wrestling Network. Welcome back to Linking Up Luchas, where we will discuss the characters, matches, and drama that Lucha Underground has to offer. Let me now bring in my co-host for the night, Jacob Williams. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing well. You don't have to ask me how what I thought of the last episodes because hey, we were on it
You were
because
here.
we're
That's correct.
all in, baby.
All in for season 4. Probably not the season we should all be all in for, but we are all here. Uh, but Scott Shifflett, you were also here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back. I always like keep thinking we have 11 episodes that I have to watch, but it's actually 20. So then like I get excited. We're like, oh, how many we got left instead of like just 11 episodes of the pod left. But you know,
Yeah,
we're all gonna die. Nothing matters.
Yeah, I was based on how we were all feeling at this certain point. We may be dead before we record the next one, so this may be our last. We never know.
Just
tonight,
leave you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. But tonight we'll be discussing the episodes from season 4 from July the 11th and July the 18th, 2018. As Jake just said, all 3 of us were here last time. Unfortunately, Jenny couldn't join us tonight, but she will definitely be on the next one with us. So we will dive right in. We open episode 5 with highlights, as always, of Masquerita Sagrada, that is, agreeing to take the Rabbit Tribe to the White Rabbit because somehow he knows where the White Rabbit is, despite not knowing who the White Rabbit was not too long ago. But he knows where he is, and he's going to take them to him. We also get Antonio Cueto announcing the Gift of the God medallion matches and him telling Cage that he has to get the medallion to be able to get a title shot. It's not just going to be given to him. Despite that fact, we will see that that's not the case later. And then we get Matanza going full God mode and doing his first sacrifice to the gods match. And then we go to Striker Vamp and Mariachi El Bronx. They welcome us into the Ice Palace. The commentators talk about the fact that we have 3 medallion matches to get into tonight, and that Cage and Muertes will be for one, but will also be tonight's main event. So we will get straight into our first match. It is going to be a sacrifice of the gods match, and it is going to be Cortez Castro versus Matanza. Before the match, Antonio comes out and calls Castro out for being a cop. Said he wouldn't call what's about to happen a murder, but a sacrifice. Castro starts to
sacrifice.
Yeah, he went full scumbag and went full character on that one, and really got into the growly voice. But Matanza charges out. Castro starts to try to hit him with some kendo stick shots, scores with a couple, but Matanza quickly shakes him off, just kind of throws him around for a second, and then quickly hits the Wrath of the Gods, and Castro is then sacrificed. So no more Cortez Castro. The final Baldy gone. Well, that's not technically true, but the final Baldy that we know of is gone. So, Schiff, what'd you think of Castro and Matanza here?
R.I.P. friend. Just love how like lights go out, he just disappears. Are we supposed to assume that Matanza ate him? Like, why can't there be some blood spots in the ring like a Jeff Jarrett guitar?
Well, we did get red lighting this time, so that gave it a little bit more of a cinematic feature at least. So,
but this was a straight squash.
yeah.
I do love how Cueto, which I think is Jake, says that Cortez Castro isn't your real name, that he's a cop, and that everyone booed him. It just made me laugh. But I love how he's like the Muhammad. But this was just a squash. Like, it was like 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he immediately hits 2 kendo stick shots, and then I think it's like move, Wrath of the Gods, and it's over. So, but Jake, what do you think of the second sacrifice we've gotten here?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like, he was holding the kendo stick like it was going to matter. It was kind of funny. And Antonio just come out like blowing up a spot, and within like 15 seconds, he's like dead. I guess he sacrificed. He's like, "Hey, guess what? You're a cop. Like, I'm blowing up your spot. Like, this has been a long running thing that he was like an undercover cop or something. And just like that quickly, he's just done." But yeah, I've complained. I need more blood and bones and viscera, not the wrestler viscera, but like,
I got you.
Organs.
Did you like the red lighting at least?
It was okay, but not enough for me. Considering what we're going to see later, I know what they're capable of. So come on, don't hold out on me.
Exactly. But yeah, just an absolute squash. Not even worth rating because, like Schiff said, it lasted about 15 seconds. So we will move on. We go straight into our next medallion, or our first medallion match of the night. It is going to be Ivelisse versus Joey Ryan. We get more crime in the Ice Palace as Joey Ryan immediately grabs her hand and tries to put her hand on his package. But luckily, she is able to slap the shit out of him before that happens. Ryan then pie faces her to the mat and grabs her and rubs her face on his hairy, oily chest. Another probably assault in the books there. He then gloats and then she grabs his chest hair and wrenches on it a little bit, and then starts laying in some big chops to his chest. She does a springboard arm drag and a head scissors takeover. Ivelisse then charges but gets crushed with her right hand. And then he grinds her face kind of into the mat. Would have gotten hepatitis from the old mat, but our new clean kind of setup here, not so much. And he goes for a couple of unsuccessful pin attempts. He then locks in a chin lock. She eventually breaks out of it and locks in like an octopus type submission is what I called it. He then breaks out of that, and she then throws him to the outside. She then charges up for a dive, but gets crushed with a super kick as he pops back in. He grabs the lollipop back out of his trunks, and he tries to like shove it in her mouth, but she's able to dodge it. She takes him down and scores with a big kick. She hits 2 sling blades and then an enziguri, but only gets 2 off of that. Delivers some more chops in the corner, but Ryan reverses a whip, but also gets kicked on a charge. Ivelisse then charges, but Ryan hits a spine buster. Goes for another sexual assault and gets hit with some kicks and a release German suplex, but again, only 2 on that. Another charge gets cut off, and Joey Ryan goes for a power bomb, but she's able to break out of it, hit a couple of big kicks and punches, and then she hits the code red and gets the win. So Ivelisse gets our next medallion. So Jake, what do you think of Ivelisse and Joey Ryan here?
Yeah, Joey Ryan. This would be like if like when Kane was a psycho, and then in real life they found that he was like a murderer. Like it's like his gimmick was like a sex.
It wasn't a front.
And then right, like he was like stone cold. It was just him, except his real life was turned up to 11. But anyway, the good thing about him being canceled is that we don't have to be like, well, at least we have to admit he's a good wrestler. No, he's really boring and sucky. Like I was not like the more I see of him in here, especially like in a singles match, I think he's pretty lame. Like he does do a couple real moves, like towards the end, like he does a super kick. But a lot of it's just him doing his stupid shtick stuff, like acting like a heelish chode, and it comes off real flat. And then just the way they did this match, because he would like do all that stuff, and then like she hits one suplex, and then starts doing like the staring at your hands, like, oh, I can't believe that didn't win. Just felt weird, like as if they had been wrestling for 20 minutes. Just I don't know. I thought this was a pretty lame match. Didn't do a whole lot for me. The code red was all right, but yeah, Joey Ryan is pretty boring. Nothing didn't set me on fire, so I went 1.5 stars. Really didn't like this that much.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think he's one of those like intentionally boring wrestlers because all of the over the topness is supposed to make you like care about what he does, but it's kind of gross and disgusting based on how he really is as a person. So yeah.
Yes, he's an ironic shitty wrestler.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out for him, but I think that was the thing he was kind of going for. But Schiff, what do you think?
Yeah, basically what you guys said. I mean, everything about Joey screams sexual assault. How did we all collectively miss this? Just like, what the fuck? I will say that suplex that Jake was talking about, I really liked that. It was a nice release German. And then, like, the Canadian Destroyer, but, like, it just felt like there was just a nothing match. It was more about, like, him being a fucking pervert and not even, like, a pervert, but a fucking just scum of the earth motherfucker in this. And I'm glad he didn't win. I'm glad to see Lisa's doing something. And commentary did talk about how she's hurt herself 2 of the 4 seasons. So I'm glad that was brought up. So, but I wish team dysfunction was still a thing, and sadly it's not.
Yeah, we may learn about a member of team dysfunction later that we didn't know beforehand. So, but yeah, I mean, I would probably go Jake 1.5. It was like Joey Ryan's really boring. Like, we don't need to do chin locks in Lucha Underground. I mean, if it's like a grueling long match and you put it in to kind of, if you do like a side headlock to kind of really wear down your opponent at the end or something like that, maybe. But a 5 or 6 minute match with a chin lock is not necessary. So if you have to go to that, you're a pretty boring wrestler in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I'm glad Evilise won. I like the Code Red to finish it off, but all in all, pretty boring match, mostly because Joey kind of dominated most of it. But again, we go straight into our next match. It is going to be Killshot versus Son of Havoc versus the Mac. So all three of our trios champions going against each other. But Antonio Cueto comes out before, says something is missing in this match, says it can be greater, or greater, as he actually says.
Greater.
Says not one, but two medallions are on the line, and whoever gets pinned is the odd man out. We kind of start the match. Killshot clearly still doesn't trust Havoc being their partner. Tries to get in his face. Mac tries to play peacemaker and step in. He gets shoved away by Killshot. And then Killshot and Havoc kind of go after each other. Lots and lots of reversals early to start things. Mac tries to intervene between Havoc and Killshot again, but again kind of gets shoved to the side. Actually rolls out of the ring for a little bit, and Killshot and Havoc go at it again. Havoc ducks a clothesline and hits a tope suicida on Mac to the outside. Killshot then charges up for a dive, but he kind of pulls up short, leaps over Havoc, but then he charges back at him on the floor and eats a boot. Havoc then goes to the apron and hits a springboard moonsault to the floor. Havoc and Mac then are back in, and then they trade reversals, but Mac hits a running, twisting forearm. Killshot then gets in and eats a Shining Wizard and hits, or Mac delivers that and hits it on Killshot. Mac then hits a somersault tope onto both guys to the outside once again. Killshot and Mac then get back in, and Mac starts hitting big strike after big strike. Killshot then reverses a whip and pulls Mac to the mat. He then lays in a big strike and hits another big strike right after that. Havoc then comes back and leaps over Killshot from the top. Killshot then hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Havoc. Mac then scores with some strikes from the apron, but Killshot actually trips him up and then super kicks him to the floor. Killshot then starts teeing off on Havoc, but then Havoc continually answers back with, as Killshot strikes him, Havoc continues to kind of come back with bombs of his own. Havoc then hits a tornado DDT. All three of them then meet in the middle of the ring and start striking each other back and forth. Havoc then breaks out of kind of the three-way punching stuff and gets pounced almost out of his boots by Mac. Period. Mac then tosses Killshot to the apron, but Killshot rams Mac's head into the ring post. He then hits a German suplex, but Mac seemingly no-sells it. Mac is back with a big clothesline, but Killshot kind of springs out of that too and kicks Mac in the head. Havoc then back on the top rope, hits consecutive double stomps, so he kind of hits Mac and then bounces off of Mac and hits Killshot. And after that, Mac comes back up with an enziguri, multiple big strikes in the corner, and hits a big cannonball splash. He hits a Samoan drop and a standing moonsault, but that's only good for 2. Mac then puts Havoc up on top, but Havoc is able to fight off. But Killshot cuts him off from doing the shooting star press. Killshot then hits a Death Valley driver on the hardest part of the ring. Killshot then double stomps Havoc, but then Mac stunners Killshot immediately after, and he kind of hesitates on who he wants to pin, but he ends up pinning Killshot after all is said and done. And then after the match, Killshot is pissed about being the odd man out and still doesn't trust Havoc. So the Trios champions are continuing to implode. So, Schiff, what did you think of this match?
All right. Well, first off, this is getting real Russo-esque, Logan, and it feels like I was having PTSD flashbacks where it's like a gimmick match for a gimmick match sake. And we see that a lot in the next episode, so it's like really frustrating me. It's like, is Vince Russo writing this shit? Because like some of it's just dumb. And this is like, oh, we just had trios and we just had Son of Havoc because Dante Fox is gone. But it's like, okay, let's automatically split them up and let's turn Killshot heel because he's mad. Which like I can understand. Like Son of Havoc's a smaller wrestler. Of course they want to fucking go pin him. Like. And it's just like, all right, so we literally put these guys together 2 episodes to go, and now they already look like they're about to split up. It's just dumb. Vampiro sounded like he was bored on commentary. They literally showed him, and he had his hand on his face, like he was just like rather be anywhere else when he's fucking supposed to be doing commentary. Striker called a Samoan drop, the Sam Moan drop, and it like made me want to take my tablet and throw it into the fucking wall. I just hate him. I did like Killshot grabbing Son of Havoc by the beard and the Death Valley driver, like you said. I don't like that Matt pinned Killshot, but Killshot's on to better and better things now. Maybe I'm just a fan of Swerve. So, and I love how they're like, do you think Killshot's mad at him? He's like, fuck yeah, you fucking pinned him and he's out. He doesn't get a chance for the medallion.
Yeah, you chose to pin him despite the fact that he wasn't actually your partner at first.
Yeah, and so Mac not making the best decisions these two episodes.
Yeah, definitely not. I would agree with that 100%. Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Chip on the storyline aspect of this. It's a little wonky. It almost feels like they're in this final season having to kind of, I don't know, like kind of finagle things around, because I feel like maybe like, well, we don't really have enough guys around anymore to make a good trios division, so why don't we just break these guys up even though we put them together? Because it's weird, because I think the match is very good. I think as kind of goofy as the storyline stuff is, or like I'm not buying it that much, the match is really good because these guys are also talented. Like they're all like super explosive. So in a match like this, it works really well. Like they're just trading off moves, and then even like all that stuff is super crisp, and then they're all capable of pulling out some big spot. Like Havoc pulls out the stomp. Like they all have these big moves. Like I think it was the Mac hit the dive at one point. That was pretty sick. So kill shot with the hardest part of the ring. So I enjoyed the match quite a bit. I went 3 1/4 on it. Very good match, but I would agree Fifth kind of covered the booking aspect of it, which is maybe not as great as what the in-ring was. It seems like just an excuse to maybe get all these guys together, and it definitely seems like they're trying to go heel with Killshot, which is, I guess, interesting, but we'll see how it goes, because he's not the most he has a character, but his character is kind of they have the military thing, and then he's kind of just like a super athletic, awesome wrestler.
Yeah.
So I wonder what his heel character would be,
Yeah, I think he's just disgruntled, just disgruntled guy in a mask, basically, which is obviously the most interesting character, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I mean, I guess at least Killshot's kind of been, he was kind of put in the trios against his will to begin with the guy that he just basically went to absolute war with right before that. And now he's gotten a partner that he equally didn't choose. So I guess you can play that for Killshot's reason to kind of not be all in on this. But yeah, the match was fantastic. I would even probably go 3.5, honestly. I thought the work was really well done. It was completely back and forth. All 3 guys were seemingly always involved. So it wasn't like, lay around, come back in, lay around, come back in kind of situation. I felt like somebody was always doing something. So that's usually the sign of a pretty good triple threat, 3-way dance, whatever you want to call it. So solid match, but I get the booking kind of disconnect as well. Like I said, at least Killshot's kind of been, iffy on this since the beginning. So, but we will go straight into our next match, which ends up being our last match, obviously. So no scenes until after we get done with this match. And I don't think we get a ton in the next episode either. So we may be short on
they're out of money.
Yeah. Yeah, they ran out of production costs. So but we will go to our last medallion match. Like I said, is going to be Mil Muertes versus Cage. It's our main event. We get a big slugfest to start. No shock there with the 2 big beasts we have in this match. They both eventually score with some tilt-a-whirl head scissors. Cage hits one, and then Mil hits one kind of right back. And then Mil follows his with a backstabber. Mil then continues the beat down on the outside once they kind of go out there. Cage then hits a kick to the gut and then slings him into the barricade. Then he continues to rain down punch after punch and then actually grabs Katrina, but obviously Mil comes quickly to her aid and slams his head into one of the ringside chairs. Mil then throws Cage back into the ring, Mill then goes to ram Cage's head into the top turnbuckle, but Cage blocks and rams Mill's head into it instead. Multiple strikes, and then he hits the deadlift superplex from the apron, but only gets 2 off of that. Back up, Mill hits a big right hand, goes to do the Reaper's Trident, but he accidentally hits the ref. Cage then hits the discus clothesline, but he pins and no ref. Cage, then the other ref comes out, and he counts the 2, and then Cage actually discus clotheslines the new ref, so we're down 2 refs. Stryker then actually tells us we only have 3 referees, so the next one is the last referee that we could possibly have. So Mill then hits a flatliner on Cage, but the next ref again is too late, only counts 2, and then Mill hits an absolutely nasty twisting choke slam on Rick Knox, so we're down to no referees. After a series of reversals, Cage hits a pump handle facebuster, and Mill rolls out of the ring after that so as to not get pinned, even though there's no ref, so it doesn't matter. Cage then hits a crazy somersault tope to the floor. Mill then scores with a big clothesline on the floor and grabs a chair. Cage then super kicks the chair into Mill's face. Cage then slams Mill on the floor, grabs the chair and poses to the crowd long enough for Penta to pop up behind him, steals the chair and absolutely crushes Cage with the chair. It makes a ridiculously loud pop when he nails him over the head with the chair. And then back in the ring, Mill hits the Reaper's Trident and the flatliner, and one of the referees eventually recovers and counts the 3, so Mill has the last medallion. Penta then grabs the mic after the match and tells Cage not to worry, that he will get his title match next week. Says just like in Aztec Warfare, he'll keep his title and leave Cage's body with broken bones, and he will break all of his bones into pieces. And then Katrina, actually, I didn't forget to mention, Katrina after the match was asked to do the lick of death, and she actually refused. So they're starting to put some tension between Katrina and Mill here. So we'll see that continue to build in the next episode. But Jake, what did you think of Mill and Cage here?
I really enjoyed this match to the point where one of my only things I didn't like was how short it was. But I think even for the time they were given, it was pretty awesome. Like it felt like a very Lucha Underground version of like a Hoss fight, where like they're pulling out a little bit of high flying stuff, but not so much that it like takes away from them being like beasts, you know. Like it's athletic enough, but they're not doing stuff that's like so high flying that it feels weird. Yeah, they were just like laying it in, just murdering the rest, which I thought was really funny given the 2 guys. Like I
and
thought
they
it was
both
a cool
had
spot.
visual pins on each other, which was nice.
Yeah, they did a good job of balancing this. Like, because I think in a vacuum you might be like, Mill losing is kind of lame, but I think with that, and then with the chair shot, and it was a good chair shot too, like you said, Logan, Penta really crushed him with it. So I think it was enough to kind of to make sense there. Kind of like protects protects everybody and gets us where we need to go. But I went 3.5. I would like to see this even longer. I just love the whole vibe of this match. I thought it was pretty awesome and kind of sets us up for the next episode.
Gotcha. Schiff, what do you think?
Well, they did mention Katrina was dressed different, so that might be a change of her character since she's fully human now after sucking Phoenix's soul, as we saw. She's, so maybe she doesn't have to do the kiss of death anymore. That's just what I think. We'll see where that goes. I thought this was a bang of a match, like Jake said. I did not like Cage losing and then getting the world title shot. It should have been like a non-title match. That's my nitpick because it's like, oh, he loses the medallion, but he's like still going to get rewarded for a possible title reign. So it's like way to like. It just goes back to what you said, Jake. Like they were throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick. Like I'm excited for a Penta and Cage match, but yeah, this was a banger. like I said, I like both refs being taken out. I said big meat slapping meat right now. And then Logan, what did you call the move after Mill took out the ref? Because I just have Cage hit some type of dope move. I didn't really know what it was.
The like pump handle facebuster, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Like a pump handle slam, but then he hits like an X Factor instead. So yeah.
Yeah, that shit was awesome.
It probably has a name, but I don't. That's what it is. Like just move wise,
Yeah, and Pentagon swung that cage like he was fucking Mark McGuire in 1998. So
Oh god, yeah.
swung that fucking chair. I mean, so like I was shocked to see Mill win, and then the no look of death, and then I love Penta saying "Don't be sad because you didn't get a medallion" in Spanish, and his whole promo was in Spanish. It was glorious.
He's such a cunt. Really?
Yeah, he's such a troll. It's so awesome.
Really
Maybe that's why I like him so much.
Yeah.
But no, and what's about to happen might be one of my favorite parts in Lucha Underground ever.
What would you rate?
So I can't wait for 3.5, 3.75.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would probably go 3.5 as well. I definitely, I rated the last two matches the same, but I'm definitely partial to the meaty men slapping meat kind of matches. So I think when we get to awards later, I think I'll probably choose that one in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, really awesome match. A big Hoss fest, like Jake said. They really beat the crap out of each other. Hit bomb after bomb. That chair shot from Penta was incredible. Like I said, made a huge pop. But yeah, I mean, I get, Cage kind of loses again. But like, at least like Schiff said, they kind of get a visual pin on each other. So it's not like he just, got crushed or anything like that at the same time. Loser getting a title shot is kind of lame, but they've had enough tension to this point. I feel like, if Penta wants to face him for the title, then he's the fucking champion. He can choose what he wants to do. If he loses, then that's on him. If he wins, he's just better than the person, I guess. But yeah, I totally get that being kind of a lame way to get to it. But I'm sure it'll be a great match that we'll talk about on the next episode. So, but before we get out of episode 5, we have our only scene of the night. We see the Rabbit Tribe and what appears to be like Wonderland, I guess, just kind of a room that's like an optical illusion. They complain about the small furniture, despite the fact that Saltador thinks it's perfect. Masquerita Sagrada then pops up and tells them that the White Rabbit will see them now. We then see the White Rabbit on his throne, and that he asks what they want from him.
TikTok.
The White Rabbit is Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, whatever you want to call him. Definitely not when I originally watched this. Definitely not the person that I thought the White Rabbit was going to be. So I definitely was shocked about that. But I'll ask y'all about that once I'm done explaining the scene. Paul then asks for the White Rabbit's guidance. They want his guidance. He asks in exchange for that, what are they willing to give him? London says he'll do anything. They will do anything he wishes. And then the White Rabbit tells them to kill the man that brought him here. The White Rabbit says time is running out and to kill Sagrada now. London then grabs this giant, like, I don't even know what it is. It was like a stick. It was like a giant stick with like a boulder on the end of it, and he just crushes poor Masquerita. Obviously, we don't see it, but blood splatters everywhere, gets all over Paul London's nice white suit, but he absolutely destroys Sagrada, so Sagrada is seemingly dead. The White Rabbit then says, that was very entertaining, and we'll see how far London is willing to go. So he really only is talking to London. Saltador and Malasuerte obviously don't speak up too much, and we'll see kind of a darker side of Paul in the next episode. So, Jake, I'll go to Schiff first. Schiff, when you saw the White Rabbit, were you shocked at who it was, and what did you think of this scene as a whole?
Yeah, I had no idea that he showed up in Lucha Underground. I mean, to be honest, I really hadn't, I know he was in TNA. I didn't realize that he went there. So he was there first, obviously. And then, when he showed up, I was like, is that Killer Karrion Kross as a bald motherfucker? And it was. And then, did you guys notice there's another little person beside Killer Kross in, a cage?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yep.
So I was like, damn, is that Masquerita's, evil twin? But then he's like, you got to kill the guy. And Masquerita doesn't even try to move. I was like, are you not fucking paying attention, my dude? And then,
I don't think he speaks English, so maybe that's how it got lost in translation.
That's a good way. But yeah, and the glee on Paul London's face when he killed him and the blood splatter was everywhere might have been the best scene ever in Lucha Underground. I was already tuned into something that was gonna happen because Jake goes, That was a crazy scene to end episode 5, and of course I hadn't watched it yet. So like I was like waiting on edge, and the match ended. I was like, well, still got like 2 minutes left, and then we saw this masterpiece. And I've always liked the Rabbit Tribe for just being lunatics. I didn't see him going this way, Logan.
Yeah, nuts for sure. I did not realize the White Rabbit showed up this early. I thought he popped up like a little bit late. Not too much later, but a little bit later in this season. So I was kind of surprised to see him already. But Jake, what did you think of Mr. Crosby and the White Rabbit and just the rest of the scene as a whole?
Yeah, I can't say I expected him. And yeah, it was kind of an unexpected scene because I know they had said whatever about the White Rabbit, but I didn't really know what was going to happen. But yeah, maybe they didn't have the scenes because they blew the budget on this because the visuals were pretty sick on this thing. It was a little bit different than what they usually do, like the style of it, like with the weird kind of like dark fantasy look to it.
Mm-hmm.
They usually kind of go for that gritty, like where they're in the streets and stuff, or like in these like hepatitis ridden sweat holes. And so to do this was a little bit different than the normal, but like the little thing on his, I guess it was like his little throne thing was pretty cool looking. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it was kind of just like, well, here's the White Rabbit, and then we sacrifice him. It didn't seem to me much deeper than that, but it was a cool visual, a nice little surprise ending. And a R.I.P. Masquerita.
Poor
Our
Masquerita.
boy.
We lost two Lucha Underground legends tonight. Cortez Castro and Masquerita Sagrada pretty much been with us since the beginning. So
R.I.P.
We are two legends dead in one night. So, but yeah, just an absolutely wild scene. Jake, I'll stick with you. What did you kind of think of this episode as a whole?
I went 7 out of 10 on this one. I thought it flew by because they just kind of did match, and it was like we had 2 very good matches. I would probably go a little bit higher if the story stuff was maybe a little stronger. Yeah. I do like that we're getting Cage, Penta, but like Schiff said, it is a little bit wonky. That the trio stuff, I think maybe the storyline stuff is getting a little loosey goosey, but the in ring definitely delivered and kind of carried the show.
Gotcha. Schiff, what about you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had a banger match and a banger of a post credit, but like, yeah, it's like a 6 out of 10 just because it like feels so uneven. But like, I wonder if like the ECW crew, like for Extreme Three-Way Dance, if they start getting to like November, December, if they're gonna see like stuff being thrown at the wall like we are seeing here. I wonder if me and you, Logan, will see it whenever we finish Russo in 26 years. So yeah, like 6 to 7 out of 10, but like I enjoyed this episode more than the next one, surprisingly, probably because of the last scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think Russo's probably already gotten to that point where we're at. So
yeah, like he's like, we'll see stuff start to get thrown at the wall.
It's not as terrible as I think it's probably going to be. So I do get where he's coming from, but yeah, it's kind of funny that Jenny's on both of these shows because I think actually we're going to finish our like timelines around the same time too. So it'll be kind of weird for her to have 2 pods like that kind of end at the same time and kind of peter out towards the end. I mean, it's still not terrible, but just not as good and not as legendary as it may have been at other points earlier on in the shows. So, but yeah, I would go 7 like Jake. It had 2 really good matches. Like both of y'all guys said, the storylines are kind of wonky and have kind of been wonky the whole season. But the scene was great to end it, and I thought that main event was really solid. So, but we'll go from there to episode 6. We open with highlights of the medallion matches so far. We get Worldwide Underground and Reptile Tribe Warfare, kind of showing what they've been through so far. Warfare. And then we kind of get Penta and Cage's rivalry to this point, kind of what they've been through so far this season. We then get Stryker, Vamp, and Mariachi El Bronx welcoming us in once again, and they hype up Penta and Cage being our main event for the Lucha Underground Championship. And we open the night with our last medallion match. It is going to be Paul London, all adorned in his black outfit tonight, no longer wearing the white suit that he had on, obviously, because it was covered in blood. But I think we're going to start seeing maybe a little darker, more dick-headed side of Paul London at the same time. It's kind of shown throughout this match. But he is facing a newcomer His name is Desmond X. He is current day Wes Lee, was Desmond Xavier in TNA. I believe he was either in TNA before this or went there right after this. So obviously a name that most people that watch WWE current day would know. Obviously he's not with WWE anymore, but I'm sure he'll pop up back in TNA at some point. But we do get Desmond X versus Paul London. Like I said, Paul London's in his darker attire tonight. Saltador and Mala Suerte immediately jump in the ring to start the match and cause a distraction that lets London kind of jump on Desmond early. They then hold Desmond in the ropes, and London is able to hit a kick. They then hold him on the outside, but X actually pulls them together, and he ends up crashing into them on a dive. X then kicks London away on the apron and goes for a springboard moonsault, but ends up hitting Suerte and Saltador instead, and London kind of evades the attack. London then comes back and delivers a kick through the ropes. Pin attempt back in the ring, only gets 2. London then whiffs a punch, and X delivers a big elbow and continues to lay in strikes, and then he hits a cutter. X then lines up to charge in the corner, but his legs are grabbed by Suerte and Saltador on the outside. He breaks away as London's charging at him, and London whiffs on a dive. X then charges back, and London actually gets his boots up and kicks him pretty hard to the mat. It was pretty sick little bump there. London then gets up top on the top rope, but he kind of yells at Saltador and Suerte a little long, and Desmond X is able to hit a Hurricane Rana from the top to the mat. Only gets 2 off of that. X then goes for a big uppercut in the corner, but misses. But he also avoids a charge and scores with a kick to Paul London's the back of Paul London's head. He then goes for a tornado DDT, but London throws him off. X then avoids the clothesline, and then he hits, I called it the cardiac kick because that's what he calls it nowadays, but hits the cardiac kick, but only gets 2 off of that. He then starts to go for what appears to be a 450, but Paul is able to evade that and hit a Meteora. Paul London then sets up a Tiger Suplex, but X is able to kind of roll out of it and end up in a victory roll pinfall kind of situation, and that is good enough for the 3. So Desmond X is the last medallion holder, and we'll get a little bit of a ceremony from Antonio next. But before we get to that, Jake, what do you think of Desmond X and Paul London?
I was surprised that Paul London lost, given we seem to be on a the Rabbit Tribes come up,
right?
like to someone fairly new too. So that was a little surprising. I thought maybe the Rabbit Tribe is going to be in their ascension, but I guess they still could. It's just like one match. But I thought Desmond, because really, I mean, that was the point of this match, is to kind of introduce to him. I thought he looked pretty good. He had some cool stuff. He's athletic. But he also didn't really do anything that stood out to me. Like, especially in Lucha Underground, we have so many guys who do this style like so well. They're so explosive. I don't know if he really stood out to me. Like, I'm trying to see where he's going to fit in, or if he's just going to be like, I didn't need to see more of him. It wasn't really, the match wasn't long enough to really get invested. It was just introducing to him. So he definitely has potential, but I think he'll have to do a little bit more to stand out. But I went 2 on it. I think it was a pretty basic match. Again, just to introduce him. Again, I think it wasn't like he bombed, like I thought he sucked, but also he didn't do anything to like really establish, how he's going to be set apart from any of the other guys.
Gotcha. Chef, what about you?
Yeah, I was really upset with this. Like, I will say they did a good job. Like, Paul was wearing the black, and he was also wrestling more aggressive than before.
Yeah.
But there's no way in fuck that Desmond should have beat him. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we just saw Paul literally murder a guy last episode, and then now he takes the L here. And yes, like, he shows frustration and pushes the other Rabbit Tribe away, but it's like, what the fuck are we doing type here? Like, it's just ass backwards booking. Like, it'd be different if, like, they did last week. Desmond beats Paul London, and then we see Paul London get his mojo back after killing Sagrada at the end of the episode. That would have been better than this bullshit. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
it's
to give him an edge.
Weirdly timed for sure.
Hey, don't even get me started on this next fucking segment. God damn it, it made me main roster angry.
Yeah, this next thing's pretty dumb, but yeah, I may would have done this be the thing that kind of drives London crazy that like makes him murder Sagrada. So maybe I would have put that scene at the end of this episode and not the last episode, because if you're going to do that, then and you're going to have him lose, like this could be a kind of a jump off point for him to really lose his mind. But you kind of already made him lose his mind, so it kind of doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to win the gift of the gods, but eventually. But I mean, if he won this match, he could just at least be in the match. Doesn't even have to factor into the decision or anything like that. So, and he could have been the person that wins this next match gets rid of. So,
God damn it, Logan.
Yeah,
like I said, like
not the best booking situation on this.
Well, we'll get to it, but this felt fucking Russo-esque.
Yeah, very true. The only way it would have been even more Russo-esque if it had been reversed. So,
God.
we get Antonio Cueto coming out. We are ready for the Gift of the Gods title presentation. Congratulates all the competitors for qualifying, and it's time to place your medallions in the belt. All the members of the match come out, or all the members that have won the medallions come out. But after they all place their medallions in the belt, they all get in the ring. And Antonio says, "I always hated the number 7. So we are going to have a battle royal to get the number down to 6. So we're going to have a battle royal, and the winner of the battle royal gets to select which of the medallion holders he doesn't want in the Gift of the Gods match. And based on the rest of the people in the match, it doesn't matter who won unless it was this person. That was going to be the person that got voted out. So if you didn't get that idea at the very beginning, you're not paying attention. But the battle royal starts. Mill quickly eliminates Cuerno, Ivelisse, and Desmond X. He then goes to eliminate Azteca, kind of has him over his head. And he technically does eliminate Azteca as well, but he also, in the process, gets dumped out by Havoc and Mac. Havoc then decides he appreciates Mac and says, "As long as you don't choose me, I will dive out onto everyone else and eliminate myself," which he does and obliges. So then Antonio Cueto comes back out, tells him to choose who he wants out. He says he'd like to say he fears no man, but Mill scares the absolute shit out of him. So Mill, you out. And then Mill on the outside. Actually, before that, Katrina leaves pissed in a huff because he's not even in the medallion match anymore. And then he absolutely destroys everyone else on the outside of the ring. So Mac kind of gets away scot-free. So, Schiff, you've already kind of complained about it, but what'd you think about this one?
First off, this whole goddamn medallion ceremony took fucking longer than the fucking battle royal. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? We have Mill run roughshod, eliminate literally, what, 5 of these 7 fucking people? And the last person, they don't even fucking battle it out. Son of Havoc looks like a dumb pussy where he just runs the ropes twice and does a suicide dive onto everyone who was just conveniently waiting for him. And then to add fucking insult to injury, the guy who I was most interested in potentially doing it is eliminated. You know what would have been good? Spitball in here, you have the same ending, but he eliminates Son of Havoc to continue the 3-way feud with that shit. And it's just like so frustrating. Like, this is very Russo-esque. I swear to God, Dragon Azteca fucking sucks. Why is he still here?
Oh, man.
Literally, the Battle Royal was all of 45 seconds with a non-ending. Imagine, I know this isn't the same thing. Imagine we're watching the Royal Rumble and that's how it fucking ends. I'm pretty sure I'd probably put my foot through the fucking TV.
Yeah, that would be quite frustrating for sure. Just not smart. But Jake, what do you think of this whole thing?
Yeah, at least make it go more than 45 seconds where maybe it's a little entertaining. This was so weird. It seemed like their main goal, I guess, was to continue the trios drama, or also I feel like they just wanted to get Mill out of there because I guess they feel like he's too OP or something to be involved. So they had to come up with this contrived goofy shit to get him out of it. I don't know. Again, it doesn't seem like they totally have everything as planned out as they did in previous seasons. It seems a lot more like they're kind of calling this as it comes. Making changes on the fly, where it did seem like in the other seasons they had kind of mapped this out a little better. Or if they have here, it's not showing as well. they're doing a lot more like weird wrestling kind of things where you're like, well, I don't know, they clearly just needed to get to some kind of point B, and so they did whatever weird thing they had to do. But yeah, this is a real whiff. I would say one of the bigger ones we've seen in the since starting the pod.
Yeah, definitely a whiff for sure. Spoiler alert: they do use this to set up a feud eventually, so I will say that. So I think that was kind of their main goal here. But again, like I said, if Mil Muertes doesn't win this battle royal, he is absolutely going to be whoever wins pick. So you're immediately spoiling the fact that unless he wins, he is out of this match. So I don't know why you had to take somebody out of this match, but like I said, it does kind of fuel a later feud. So I will say it does lead to something at least, but that doesn't make it any less stupid. So.
And I think Mill's he's too important to be like.
He
he's
shouldn't
too
have
much
been
of a
in the
top
match in the first place because, he's above. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's above this.
Right. Agree. And I feel like maybe that's why they want to get him out of it. But then to do that, they have to put him in it. It just seems so beneath him.
Yeah. Like he needs to be doing more important things than this in the grand scheme of things. But we'll move on. One of the real big whiffs in the show so far, which we haven't had a ton of, I guess, but this is one of the worst ones for sure. But we go straight to our next match. It is going to be Vibora versus Johnny Mundo. We get big strikes traded early with Mundo trying to use his speed to keep Vibora off balance. Both managers, being Cobra Moon and Taya, grab Vibora's and Mundo's feet. And so they get in the ring and start battling around. They continue to kind of battle on the outside, and the ref is distracted, so Mundo does a low blow and then a disaster kick. He then scores with a big knee and a standing shooting star press, but only gets 2 off of that. He gets 2 because Vibora sits up out of the pin, then stands up and hits a reverse Death Valley driver. He throws Mundo into the corner and hits a backsplash and a big boot. He hits another big knee, and then he hits I called it a Cobra Clutch burning hammer. It was a pretty cool move. But I think Stryker called it a burning hammer, but he kind of had like his arm wrapped around his neck like you would in a Cobra Clutch. Mundo then flips out of a chokeslam attempt and hits a poison Rana, and then follows it up with a regular Hurricane Rana. Mundo then goes up to the top, but Vibora sits up. And before he can dive onto Vibora, he decides that he's going to do an absolutely insane dive out onto Cobra Moon. Taya then distracts the ref once again after this, and PJ Black shows up ringside with a chair and crushes Vibora with it. Back in, Mundo hits the end of the world, and you would think that would be the finish, but it is only good enough for 2 this time. Mundo then super kicks the ref, and chairs are brought in once again. They put one of them around Vibora's neck, but then the rest of the reptiles, Daga and Drago, come out and run off PJ and Taya. Back up, Mundo swings the chair, but misses, and then it is kicked out of his hands by Vibora. Vibora then hits a super kick, a power bomb, a choke slam, and a standing moonsault all in succession, but again only gets 2 off of that. Vibora then throws Johnny into the corner, but he is eventually pulled out by Ricky Mundo, who had come out. Vibora then runs to the corner and springs out and does a middle rope moonsault to the floor. And hits both Ricky and Johnny Mundo. Back in the ring, Mundo avoids a top rope dive and scores with a few kicks. He then bounces off the ropes but gets met with a headbutt. Again in the corner, Mundo uses his elusiveness to avoid some attacks and land a big kick. Goes for a springboard, but Vibora is able to catch him by the throat, and then he does what I described as a Spanish fly choke slam. He kind of choke slams him, but he front flips him off the top rope. And then and that's good enough for the win. So Vibora gets the big win over Mundo. And then both groups come back out, and they continue to battle until we go to commercial. So Jake, what did you think of Mundo and Vibora here?
Yeah, Mundo descending quickly from champion to now losing to Vibora. I felt like everything and nothing happened in this match. Like, I feel like there was a lot of crap happening, but it didn't feel like they really did a whole lot in the actual match. It's like they just kind of dicked off for a little while. Then there was a bunch of interference, and they just kind of went into the finishing stretch. I like Vibora. like interesting, and I think he's kind of impressive with the power stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he's a good kind of in between sort of guy. He's not quite like Mill in Cage, but he's obviously bigger than the other guys. But I think the way they did this, like, I feel like the point was to put him over, but there was so much crap going on, like you don't even really remember much of what he did, and it doesn't come off like some big win for him. It just felt like it was a bunch of like crazy overbooked chaos stuff, and he just happened to win. Like, like it didn't come off as some like wow impressive elevating performance. It just felt like a bunch of goofy stuff happened. He won. So I went 2 stars on it. I don't think it accomplished maybe what it was supposed to accomplish, which is not great.
Yeah, probably not the best thing, but Schiff, what'd you think?
I liked it more than 2 stars, Jake. God damn. Or maybe it's just because everything was it made me so angry that
you were looking for something to be positive about after that.
Yeah.
I'm a noted Mundo detractor, I will say.
Yeah.
You are, but like I'm kind of okay with this because it seems like he's trying to elevate this, and like we have like a gang war between Worldwide Underground and the Reptile Tribe. And this made Vibro, who's like sort of seemed like a cult favorite there, kind of like gave him like some chops because he did kick out of he took a steel chair and then hit into the world and still got 2. But yes, the ref was a little behind, but like still, he also hit a burning hammer that got 2.
Yeah,
which looked pretty dope. What I did have a problem with was Daga showing up and chasing PJ Black and Ty to the back. And Vamp compared Daga returning to Lucha Underground to Elvis coming back in 1968.
Striker's wearing off on him. He's catching some Striker by osmosis.
I felt like Vamp was real checked out in these 2 episodes, if I'm being real with you.
Well, that's what I told you. Like, he looked bored like last episode in this one. Right.
Yep.
He says, listen, it's like, dude, do you know what the fuck you're saying? Daga, whose highest fucking wrestling thing is being married to known racist and piece of shit Tessa Blanchard, and you just compared him to one of the best like fucking pop stars of all time.
Yeah.
One of these are not like the other.
Yeah.
I love Shift's Daga hate. Daga hate is one of my favorite running things right now. I mean, I don't like him either, but it's just funny how fired up you get about Daga.
To be honest, I would have been okay with it running right here. Motherfucking compared him to Elvis. I'm not even the biggest Elvis fan, but it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Okay? And he called him the king of the Reptile Tribe. Like, we're supposed to know that he's like some kind of important royalty within the Reptile Tribe. I don't think that's ever been. I mean, I guess he's Cobra's like chosen like person, but still.
I just thought it was Cobra's side piece because, like, she said she was the queen and she was going to make Mundo bow down to the queen literally like 2 episodes to go.
Yeah.
And now he's like, but he's running in like a little bitch.
Yeah. I think I enjoyed this match a little bit more than Jake. I did find Vibora very impressive. I thought he was a standout in this match for sure. I do think it kind of takes away from the huge win that this is supposed to be for him. That we had so much interference. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. But yeah, I thought Vibora was very, very good in this match. He showed out, did some really impressive stuff for how big of a bastard he is. So I would go 2.5. Not it's not an all-time great match or anything like that, but I thought it was a really standout performance for old Vibora. So, but
Vibora!
Yeah. Oh boy for this next scene. We go to another scene. We get Exolicious doing some ridiculous exercises to some absolutely ridiculous
flash
music.
Dance in this bitch.
It's like flash dance. It's all neon. He's posing and looking resplendent. But we see that Jack Evans is watching him. Says to himself that he was embarrassed by Exolicious last week, and no one embarrasses the profound hound of sound, which is what he calls himself, apparently. He then notices Ricky's doll is next to him, and Ricky pops up as well and asks what the hell he's doing here. Or Ricky asks Evans what he's doing here. Evans says he's studying his opponent's every move and asks what the hell Ricky's doing here. Ricky said the rest of us just got our ass kicked by the Reptile Tribe and said they could have used Evans' help out there. Evans reiterates that he doesn't do snakes and that Johnny is cool with him sitting this one out. Evans tells Ricky to take himself and his ugly ass dirty doll out of here and out of his business. Evans leaves, and the doll says that she doesn't like Evans, and Ricky says he doesn't either, and that maybe Ricky should do to him what he did to Angelico. And then Ricky says he can't because that would probably make Johnny mad. The doll then asks, who is in charge, Ricky or Johnny? So more just evil doll shit here.
This is just Conky from Trailer Park Boys. That's all it is. That's all I fucking see. This is when Trailer Park Boys was popping off on Netflix at the time. This is just someone was fucking drunk or stoned and saw the Conky episode, and this is all it fucking is. Like, even down to the way she talks. Like, it's just like fucking Conky saying, "Oh, too sexy Julian." Oh. And even the same way that says Ricky, when it's like, "Oh, Ricky." Jake, you know what I'm talking about.
So did you like the scene, Schiff?
Actually, I did. Fucking Jack Evans gives him so many nicknames. He was the Dragon Slayer before. Now he's the Round Mound of Rebound. No, that's Charles Barkley. But
no, he's the Profound Hound of Sound.
Yeah, Profound.
I don't know what means at all.
Hound of Sound. So. I do love. He's like, yeah, I'm not here because I hate snakes, and it's like that's how he like just gets out of the feud. Like, what a genius, right?
Absolutely. Jake, what do you think of this?
I like Schiff's theory that this is based on Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, I'm just hoping he. I want to see if he's going to act on the doll's dark requests. I hope he does. It sounds pretty interesting. I want to see. I hope he. Maybe he'll murder Mundo.
Oh God! Oh. Yeah, it all ends with
praise
the
be.
Mundo. Oh man.
Listen, we had 2 murders last episode, Logan.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
More murder.
Yeah, well, we didn't have a sacrifice tonight, so maybe this should have been the murder for the episode.
More murder.
More murder.
But yeah, just a wild scene. Somebody was definitely on. I feel like somebody was on a lot of drugs for the scenes, and we only got 2, but for the scenes in these 2 episodes, I think they were just definitely heavily under the influence of something. But we will go to our main event match for the Lucha Underground Championship. It is Pentagon Dark versus Cage. Penta is coming to the ring and taunts a little too much. He kind of does a little dance on the apron before he even gets in, and Cage is pretty pissed about it, so he charges at him, knocks him to the floor. Cage then continues pounding him and throws him into the barricade on the outside. Penta then answers back with some kicks. They continue to battle around the outside with Cage mostly controlling while they're out there. Penta then is able to score with another kick and grabs a camera cable and chokes Cage with it. The ref then stops him from doing that, and this allows Cage to hit a back suplex on the hardest part of the ring, and then hurls him into the wooden chairs on the floor. He then throws him again into the barricade, and then he uses the dangly part of his mask to tie him to the barricade, which is a pretty smart move. Pretty much just wails on him from there. He goes to grab a chair to use it. He actually steals Striker's chair from the announce table, and he's pretty pissed about it. But by the time he comes back to hit him with the chair, Penta has actually freed himself from the mask being tied to the post, and he kicks the chair into Cage's face. Penta then follows it with a sling blade on the floor. They go into the ring for the first time. Penta does a top rope stomp, but only gets 1 on a pinfall attempt. Penta then kicks and loads up a package pile driver, and Cage is able to break out of it and hit a knee, and again he hits the pump handle facebuster. He then follows that with a buckle bomb and a deadlift superplex from the apron, but only gets 2 off of that. Cage then loads up his version of the F5, but Penta is able to break out of it and hit a backstabber, and then he hits a code breaker as well, but only gets 2 off of that. Penta then goes to the top, but Cage follows and hits an electric chair facebuster from there. Cage then goes for a power bomb, but Penta is able to break out of it. Sorry, I lost my place there for a second. He pops out of the power bomb and hits a couple of kicks. Penta then hits a Panama Sunrise from the middle rope, and then he hits a Canadian Destroyer, and then he hits the package pile driver all in succession, and that is enough to put Cage down for the 3 count. So, and then after the match, Cage escapes the arm break and does his F5 onto the Lucha Underground Championship, and then grabs the mic and says Penta can't break his arm because he's not a man, but a machine. So, Schiff, what did you think of Cage and Penta here?
I really like this match. These guys, like, Cage might be the MVP of these past 2 episodes with the 2 matches he split on. I did like Cage tying Penta to like the guardrail with his mask. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like this huge suplex that Cage hit from the outside of the ring to the inside of the ring. I love that so much. I only got 2. My note here says Penta hits the package pile driver and wins because he's awesome. Kind of got lost in the match, guys. My apologies. I really thought he was going to break his arm, and that'd be the last we saw of Cage, but I liked him picking him up and hitting the F5. I do love how he says he's not a machine. Also, was Melissa Santos fucking Cage now?
Oh, yeah. They've been together since, like, season 1, I think.
Because if you go back and watch, like, when she does the announcements for him, it's like, from the 519, it's Cage! And I think a little pussy juice drops out when she says that. So, there's that.
Oh, wow.
We'll make sure y'all were still awake. But she does act different when she announces everyone else's name compared to him.
No, she definitely puts a little bit more flair on his name. She does the whole 559 thing. So it's definitely apparent that they're at least good friends at this point. But yeah, I think they get together after season 1, honestly, and are honestly still together today. So, but Jake, what did you think of this main event match?
Yeah, good match. I kind of wanted it to be. I felt it was a bit short for how much it's been built. I feel like I should have been maybe a little bit more epic. You kind of have like really the whole first half of the match was just Cage throw him around on the outside, which I mean looked good and it was brutal, like kind of brawling, but it's kind of all it was, and that was already like half your match of what ended up being. I mean, I can't imagine this match. Definitely was like a sub 10-minute match easily. So I guess maybe for how much
10-minute match.
God.
Yeah, but when they went in, I thought the reversals were very good. A lot of sick moves they pulled out. It is interesting that the feud is kind of based on, because like Penta kind of won pretty like definitively here, but I guess the feud is like until he breaks his arm, the feud is not really over. So I wonder if we get like a gimmick match or something based around, like he's got to break his arm or something to win. I'm not sure.
Because they match.
Right. They were like quick to make sure Cage got his heat back, but like they let Penta win. Mm-hmm.
No, the way the feud needs to end is he needs to like completely rip his arm off, and expose it to like have like like wires. And
like
metal.
He's a robot.
That
oh my God, he is a machine. We've been
like
building this for 4 seasons.
As soon as he rips his arm off, and it's like, oh my God, he really is a machine.
Yeah, he's a Terminator.
Yeah, that would be sick.
But yeah, I went 3 on it, and it's not because it wasn't good. I like what they did. I just feel like it needs more time to really like fully get across what I think these guys could do. And it's just like the thing we always say. It's like he seems like a monster, but he just lost again. It's like it gets harder to buy him as this brutal machine when he just kind of loses a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The timing definitely hurts it from getting a huge score or anything like that. Like you said, it's probably like a 3-star, just because they are very talented and they did beat the shit out of each other pretty solidly there throughout. But yeah,
I'm hoping it's like a part 1, and like maybe we get some. That's like a big sequel, epic, crazy shit.
But yeah, it definitely the timing did hamper him a little bit. Yeah, because I think it's not even 9 minutes. I think I looked at to see how much was left in the episode, and I think it was definitely not 10 minutes, but I don't even think they got 9 minutes. So, and it goes like right up till the end. So, yeah, I mean, definitely with some more time, they could have an absolute banger. But I think for what they were given, they did pretty solid work throughout. But Jake, what did you think of that whole episode? Totally.
Man, I like that main event, but I was lower on this one. I'd probably go like maybe a 5. I feel like this is like a lower tier one besides the main event. And I just felt overall the whole episode felt rushed. Like everything that was out there just kind of, including the main event, like nothing really got enough time. I mean, the freaking battle royal thing was pointless. Like they didn't even do a battle royal, honestly. I mean, they only did like technically, but yeah, weird episode. Just, we had the one good match, but everything else on here I felt was pretty kind of mid or disappointing or kind of goofy, like the battle royal.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Schiff, what about you?
Yeah. So it seemed like things were rushed, but then they would have like these little bumpers at the start of shows about like of coming out commercial where it's so like people walking into the ice palace, and it was like, are they trying to like add stuff on time? Do they not have enough time here? So it's like very weird, but like outside of like the main event, which is Pentagon and whoever he wrestles, I don't know what the fuck the rest of this card is doing. You made all the people in medallion match look like a bunch of bitches with Mill, and then Mill's not even in it because he eliminated 5 of the 7 people. And it's like, do we really care who wins? Maybe King Cuerno, maybe. And it's just like this Russo era booking, like it might have worked in 97, 98. It sure as fuck is not working now. And it's not working in,
Right,
it didn't work in 2016, and it's not working now.
Like Desmond X, he was in the battle royal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got
so
eliminated like that.
Yeah, we had that opening match like establish him, and he gets chucked like a jobber like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, because Cuerno's the first person out. Like, he's supposed to be, he's been presented heavily in the first, 6 episodes so far, and he gets dumped out first. So I mean, he looks like a complete bitch. I mean, he may have not really cared whether he won the battle royal or not, but I mean, I don't know. They could play the element of surprise, I guess, but just that whole battle royal was just absolutely stupid. But
it's legit one of the dumbest things we've seen on the show. We've been reviewing this for what, almost 2 years now, Logan?
It's been a while. I can't remember exactly when we started.
We're on episode 58, and this legit might be the dumbest thing that they've ever done. Like they spent more time having every fucking person stroll their happy ass down the steps and put the fucking medallion in the Garden of the Gods shit, and then the match was.
Yeah.
What would you score it, Chef?
Yeah,
like a 4.
Yeah, I was thinking 4. Outside of that main event, this one was pretty lame.
Sorry, I was hot.
But yeah, not one of our stronger efforts for sure. I thought Vibra's performance was pretty solid in that match, and then the main event was pretty solid. But the first match was kind of disappointing. The battle royal was epically stupid. I think that hampers the episode more than anything else helps it per se. So just a really, really not so great episode. But as far as awards, we'll go to that match of the night. I would say it was pretty easily Mill and Cage, or would any of y'all go Penta, Cage?
Cage Mill.
Cage Mill.
Yeah, just straight sweep. I'll do Cage Mill.
Gotcha. Moment of the night. Jake, what would you go with on that?
Probably go with Masquerita's Annihilation.
Slaughter.
The fatality on Masquerita.
I gotcha. Is that what you would go with?
Yeah, it's like the best. Like if we ever do like the best moments, like they'll be top 5 for me on the fucking show.
Well, that would technically be a cinematic scene, so that would probably be best cinematic scene. But like moment in the ring, was there anything that stood out in the ring or anything like that you could select instead?
Pentagon showing up in the cage match.
Yeah, the chair shot.
Yeah,
braining him, and then saying his troll line.
Yeah. Yeah, Penta's just overall cattiness and cuntiness after the match.
Hope you like your CTE.
Yeah, but cinematic
scurries away.
Cinematic scene was 100% Masquerita getting brained, unfortunately. But as far as MVP and top 3, Schiff, who would you be your top 3 this time in MVP? I think you said Cage would be your MVP already, but
yeah, Cage is MVP. I'll throw Mill and Penta in there. Because we saw the bastardization of mostly everyone else, and even if like we wanted to give it to the Rabbit Tribe, they fucking lost the next match, so that eliminates them.
Gotcha. Jake, what about you?
I think I agree with Chef. Definitely Cage's MVP, and then Penta and Mel. I was close to saying I would say an honorable mention goes to the Mac because he was in that really good match, and I guess he did win the
Battle Royal.
Shitbird Battle Royal.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time going against what y'all both picked there. So I would go with Cage as my MVP for sure. And then Mill and Penta were definitely kind of standouts otherwise. So that would definitely be my three as well. So good picks. But we will go from here to the shift plugs real quick. All right, Jake, anything else you would like to plug or promote?
No, not really. I mean,
all right, Shift, what about you?
Nah, this is the only place that will have me. Just want to apologize if I came off as angry this episode. I literally watched the second episode before we recorded, and it kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie.
You angry? No. No, we enjoy it. We enjoy all of your emotions, Shift. Just let them all out whenever.
I'm usually happy-go-lucky.
I don't think anybody's gonna get mad at you for dogging an episode of booking decisions of a company that went out of business like 8 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. But yeah, just continue to listen to everything here on the Backbone Wrestling Network. We're continuing to put out great stuff every day. So check us out. Check everything out we do. Great people doing everything. So thank you for joining us here in the Ice Palace, and we will see you next time we enter it. Whoa!
Whoa!